Oh, let me get a swig of my fancy sky juice. Okay. So the other day, I was looking up old cartoons to show my kids what I used to watch when I was a kid. And holy cow, cartoons when I was a kid were way better than what's going on today. Like, feel the magic, hear the roar, Thundercats are loose, do 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 do, blah 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 blah, Thundercats are loose, do 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 do. And like you watch an episode of Thundercats, and at the end it's like, whoa man, I want to run around and do some jumping and climb some trees. I want to be a Thundercat. Yeah, I'm all so pumped, right? Today's cartoons are more like, well, Morty, this is Rick here. We could save this universe, but I'm just drunk and I don't care. So let's go through this portal and just go do something else. Yeah, let's do that because I just don't care because I'm drunk and yeah, who cares, man? And then you watch that to the end and it's like, oh, that was funny. I guess I'm gonna drink a beer now and sit on my butt and do nothing because nothing matters and who cares. Oh, it reminds me of this conversation I had a little while ago, and I've had this conversation many times. It basically goes like this: I was talking with this guy, and we were talking about how civilization today is just falling apart with all this weird gender stuff and all this. I don't know. I didn't even want to get into all the problems. Like we were on the same page, and we were just like, whoa, this is getting crazy. And then he said this to me. He's like, Jaimie, so you got out of society. How did you know when to do it? Like how do you know when to abandon ship? How do you know when to get out of there? Like when is the right time to leave a failing civilization? And so I was like, you know what? Let's look at it in a metaphor on a smaller time scale. Respect my trans homies. Anyway, we're gonna go in a minute. Okay, I'm ignoring comments for a second, or several minutes. Anyway, I was like, let's look at this problem from a smaller time scale. Because it's hard for people to wrap their head around a falling civilization, which could take decades or centuries, right? Okay, let's take the actual literal sinking ship. When do you abandon a sinking ship? So at one end of the spectrum, someone comes up to you and says, man, the ship is sinking and there's no way to stop it. There's nothing we can do. And the person can say, well, seems all right now, so let's just carry on as we were. Everything's fine. And then when the ship actually starts going down and your feet are getting wet, oh my God, I gotta get my stuff and find a life jacket. And then the water's up to your waist and it's like, oh, and everyone's panicking and shoving each other and they're looking for their kids and they can't find their kids and they've lost all their stuff and they can't get to the lifeboats, and then they get in a lifeboat and get in the water, but they didn't have their life jacket with them, but they're like, oh, whatever, forget it, I'm in the lifeboat. And then like people are in the water grabbing on the lifeboats, tipping them over and sinking people, and people are dying and drowning and freezing and having hypothermia and blah, blah, blah. On the other hand, end of the spectrum, you back up and someone says, all right, look, the ship is sinking. There's nothing we can do. It cannot be saved at this point. It is going down. Then the person says, okay, do we have like 10 minutes? Yeah, it's going to take more than 10 minutes to sink. Okay, everybody, let's take the next 5 minutes. Everyone go to your rooms, get whatever valuable thing you feel like you really need. Nothing huge, just like whatever you would be really valuable to take with you. Maybe grab some food or whatever. Everyone grab a life jacket, and we'll meet at the lifeboats in 5 minutes. So those people go and do that, get their stuff, and everyone comes back, and they get in a lifeboat and get off the lifeboat. And people on the ship are being like, hey, what are you doing? Everything's fine here. And the people in the lifeboat are like, well, yeah, maybe we're just being a little overcautious, but whatever, it's fine. Let's just go. And the people in the lifeboat float away. And as they witness 10, 15 minutes later, the ship going down and people dying and slapping each other in the face to get to a thing and everyone's panicking and going crazy. Those people in the lifeboat who got out as soon as they knew there was no going back, there was no saving the ship, as soon as they knew the ship was going down, those people look at that scene and are like, wow, am I ever glad we got out of that? Holy crap, look at that. So the answer to like, when do you get out of a civilization that's failing, that's collapsing, is basically, you just have to ask yourself, do you want the first scenario where there's like a billion other people trying to do exactly what you're doing and your money now doesn't mean anything and people are fighting and killing each other? Or do you go to the other end of the spectrum and it's like, as soon as you know, or you feel pretty confident that things are going in a direction and they're not coming back at all, they're consistently going in a sinking direction, that's when you say, okay, look, everything's still fine right now. That means this is our chance to get out without panic, without craziness. Our dollars mean something. We could even spend some time saving money and buy some land and do whatever to get ourselves set up. We can get everything set up before the ship actually sinks and people go crazy. So I guess you just have to, the answer to that question is you just got to decide for yourself. Like, do you want to be like going crazy and just like fighting for your life while your children are being trampled, or you want to plan ahead and plan ahead basically. So now the thing that is subjective is whether or not civilization is collapsing. Some people think it is, some people think it isn't. Personally, I see a lot of things that are going downhill and they're not slowing down. And if anything, they're accelerating. Things are getting worse and worse. Things are still pretty good. Everyone's eating, people have roofs on their heads. However, not as many as before. The food's getting worse, the housing's getting worse, the infrastructure is getting worse, everything is going downhill. Even though it's still pretty good, you gotta look at the direction. At least that's the way I think about it. So to me, the time to get out of a civilization that's collapsing, and I would say ours is kind of collapsing, is like right now. Like, prepare now. Do what you got to do now. Do it as soon as you can. As soon as you realize there's a significant problem that's not going to be undone, that's when you take your resources that still can do stuff and your ability to still use resources. You take that and you set a new course. And then, if you're lucky, you end up in a little pocket of civilization where other people have done this. And then when the main ship sinks, your little pocket is like, all right, we've got everything set up here, we're okay. Now, I'm sure I'm about to look at the comments here, I'm sure there's some level of disagreement on this, which is fine. People can disagree on this, totally fine. Let's see, Mr. Landfill's here and Nepsy, and how is everyone, Mr. Landfill? Classic Dude Mike, what's going on? Respect your trans homies. I respect your trans homies. The funny thing about now I don't want to get too much into it because people get crazy about this. But in the past, people who wanted to change their gender from one to the other, it was like a serious decision. Like, you had to really think hard about it and really want to do it to put the amount of effort it takes into going forward with that. And personally, I think that's a good thing. Like, that's such a huge change that I think you should have to do a lot of thinking about it before you do something like that. Because today, it's just become fashionable. It's totally insane. It's so easy to go and get a sex change operation, and knowing that you can't really change your sex. I mean, you can kind of change it, but if you're a man, you're not going to become a fully reproducible woman, right? Or if you're a woman, you're not going to become a man who can impregnate a woman. It just doesn't work that much. So in the past, if you wanted to change, you had to really feel sincerely serious about it. But now today it's just like, well, I felt like it was a cool thing to do. So I was like, should I get a tattoo or should I just, get a bunch of operations? And I think that's actually done more harm to the people who were serious about it than anything else. Because now, so many people are not taken seriously that all the people who did it before when they were serious about it, and the people who do it now and they've really thought about it and like they know they're pushing against the grain and they know they're doing the serious thing, they're taken a lot less seriously, you know. And personally, I don't mean to imply that I have any what's the word? I can't relate to someone who is having a sex change operation. I'm a boy, I like being a boy. So, you know, anything I can say about that is very, very limited. My perspective does not really include that whole thing. But I totally have respect for people. I actually have a couple friends who have had sex change operations, and I don't understand it, but I don't have to because it's their life and their thing. So it just doesn't matter to me. And I respect them because of the people they are, not because they've changed their gender, you know. Good afternoon from Scott here in Smoky Town, Tacoma. Ooh, Smoky Town. Oh, that makes me think of barbecue. I just made food here. I haven't eaten since breakfast, so you have to excuse me if I cut this short. My food is cooling down today, though. I mean, right now, today. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this is not the most amazing looking thing I've ever cooked, but not terrible. It's chicken and plantains and what did I put in here? And eggs. It's basically like, what do you call it when you have that breakfast where it's like all the stuff is just smashed around? Yeah, it's that with breakfast scramble or something. Kind of like that. I also put some hot peppers in from my pepper plant, my own pepper plant. I'm so excited about it. Okay. Dan says, so odd, but that's why we follow Jaimie. If you follow me because I'm odd, totally acceptable. That's fine. How's it going, Tony? You abandon ship when the bilge pump can't keep up with the inflow. That's a good metaphor for how life is today. Well, unless you think you can still patch the hole or add a new bilge pump. Like, I wouldn't say you have to abandon ship at the point when it's sinking. I think you have to abandon ship at the point when you know you can't save it or it's not going to be saved. And you know, there's no way to know because you never know when something's going to come along and you know, some ship that sunk 40 years ago had a giant blob of foam in it that breaks free just as your ship is going down and it comes up under you and floats you back up and it's like, whoa, we just got saved. Like there's always a possibility, but yeah, when you get to the point where you're pretty sure the ship cannot be saved, that's when you prepare to abandon ship and try to make sure you're out of there well before it actually goes down. You know, if it's actually going down, man, you got to move your butt. Anyway. The time is odd, to be clear. Oh, the time is odd. Well, yeah, 5 o'clock is an odd number. No, I'm pretty sure I started this after 5 o'clock. What time did I start? Where's my clock thing? Oh, if I start swiping, it's gonna screw this up. 5:53. No, yeah, I'm totally late. Sorry, man. What if the ship is not sinking? Well, yeah, I mean, if the ship's not sinking, then you don't have to abandon ship. However, if you're on a ship that you don't like, leave it and go to another ship. Although in that case, you don't necessarily have to say you're abandoning ship. You're more like just going to another ship. Now, if you're talking about me personally, I do think our civilization is crumbling. However, even if it doesn't crumble, I don't like the what's it called? The society, there's another word for this. Anyway, I don't like the society where I grew up. And, you know, everywhere I lived, in North America, Canada, United States, England, you know, I visited other countries and stuff. There's been no place that I felt was going to be conducive to me being me, right? So even if none of that collapses, I still, for me personally, it was a good decision, I think, to move to a place that's a little more isolated, where I can set up my own systems for everything, you know, get everything going the way I want it. And then be 100% responsible for when things break, which means I have to fix them, but that's fine. I like that. Hyperinflation is a real thing, and we are seeing it happening with our own eyes. Printing money isn't the solution. Self-sufficient is the key. Oh, stop it. So when the ship sinks, you won't feel it so much. Yeah. And someone earlier mentioned Venezuela and what was the other one? Zimbabwe, did they say? I know a fair amount about Venezuela. They have, if you don't know anything about Venezuela, look it up a little bit, although you might get really depressed. Like inflation got so bad there that like people just couldn't afford food, and it was a really bad situation. I don't know what the situation is there at this point, but I mean, last I heard, it was a few years ago, it was pretty bad. And yeah, like inflation is clearly getting worse. It's, we're going in the wrong direction. And well, anyway, I've been looking for apartments around the valley, but honestly, might just squat at the Dome. I take it that's the Dome, my old house in Vermont. I have nothing to do with it, so I have no opinion. Hyperinflation is not a real thing. Tell that to Zimbabwe and Venezuela. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. What do you mean by hyperinflation is not a real thing? Is that because you don't think it should be called hyper? Inflation is definitely a real thing. And if inflation is getting really bad, you could definitely call it hyperinflation, I think. It sounds reasonable to me. But anyway, inflation, monetary inflation is definitely a big problem that a lot of people are experiencing right now. We're talking about the US. Oh, this is TD. Okay. The guy who says hyperinflation is not a real thing, talking about the US. Actually, I would not believe that. Although I haven't been paying attention to the US all that much, but people I talk to, like friends I have who spend some time here and some time in the US, every time they go and come back, they're like, man, everything's just getting more and more expensive. Man, inflation is getting out of control. So I guess I could take their word for it. I don't know. It doesn't matter either way. I'm here doing my thing, and my goal is to not need money. So I guess I haven't been paying attention to that too much, because for me the results are the same either way. When there aren't enough lifeboats for everyone, you tell your shipmates everything is fine and run away. Yeah. So for me personally, I keep having this thought that maybe I should just stop trying to spread the word and tell people, and just say, okay, all that's fallen apart. I'm just not going to pay attention to it anymore, and just pay attention to my world. However, I'm sure there's somebody out there who's going to hear me saying some of this stuff, who's going to be like, who's just going to start thinking about it, It's going to spark a little thing in their head, and they're going to be like, well, maybe I should do something about that. And then they'll do something. And of course, if it turns out terribly, I'm going to feel bad. But, I'm hoping that everything I say will have a positive effect on a few people here and there anyway. Let's see. Tell everyone it's fine and run away. There are definitely many things wrong, but there are also many things going right. That is true, but what's the direction? I personally think the direction is that things are getting worse. And a lot of the things that are going really well are shrinking. So like in the United States, you're talking about the United States in particular. So let's take the United States. The United States has had a very high degree of freedom, historically speaking, in relation to the rest of the world. There's been a very high degree of freedom in the United States. And that has led to a lot of really good things. And we could have a whole discussion about that, blah, 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 whatever. I don't want to go all into it, but I think most Americans would generally agree that a lot of freedom has led to a lot of positive things. That freedom keeps getting eaten away at. People keep losing freedoms, but they're not getting them back. That means it's a one-way street. That means it's sinking and it's not coming back. See, if people lost freedoms because, oh, there's an emergency, everyone needs to give up some rights, but you get them back. If people always got them back, and maybe if once in a while people actually got more rights back, then I wouldn't be as concerned. But people keep losing rights. They keep being taken away and not coming back. And it's just a direction. It's going in a direction. That's the wrong direction. Now, of course, you might have a different opinion on that. So, but that's what I think. Reed Cook made it. Wood thing, the barbecue stand is on pause now. What? Oh, you're building a barbecue stand, I think. Cool, man. Loxahatchee, Florida here. That's TDH, who was talking about everything's going well in the United States. Ravinger is from Royalton, Vermont. I know Royalton, Vermont. Yeah. I used to be able to see Royalton, Vermont from, just up from my house. Montreal here, Luciano. Billy's from Mississippi. Man, everyone's telling me where they're from now. Noob Gamer, Smokey, British Columbia here. Noob Gamer. I've been programming a video game. Oh, I just saw a bug. Maybe I didn't. I've been programming a video game. You know that old tank game, Scorched Earth? Doesn't really work on modern computers. Even through DOSBox, it still kind of crashes, like gets glitchy. So I was like, I want my kids to be able to play this game. It's, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, Scorched Earth. It's otherwise known as the tank game. It's where you have there's a bunch of land that's just all little pixels, and then there's 8 little tiny tanks, and then you use some buttons to set your angle and your power level, and you try to shoot at the other tanks. And I wanted my kids to play it because I want them to learn about angles and just that kind of stuff. It's a fun way to learn about a bit of geometry and stuff. So I programmed it. Oh, my kids love it. It's hilarious. And I don't even have that much programmed yet. Maybe I should go show you. But the tanks just shoot one kind of bullet. Well, 2 kinds of bullets. You can just shoot a normal bullet, or you can shoot dirt on someone. And my son thinks it's hilarious to bury people. And my kids play this, and they're just laughing the whole time, which is great. But then they're also learning about angles and power levels and strategy and stuff like that. And one thing that you can do in the one that I programmed that you could not do in the original is you can shoot down. So you can shoot straight down and shoot the dirt out from under yourself and bury yourself down in a hole. And then you can shoot a dirt bomb up and actually bury yourself. And my son, who's 5, likes to do that and then just laugh hysterically because no one can get to him. Anyway, I was just going off because your name was Noob Gamer there. Our metaphorical ship in this scenario is actually a 70s pontoon boat with a soggy deck. 70s pontoon boat with a soggy deck. Well, maybe. Possibly. I think of it as, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. A lot of people have different opinions on this stuff. Nepsy says, at Revinger, the owner is trying to get rid of that property and people camp there weekly. Also, a lot of kids explore it all the time. Good luck squatting there, though. Okay. Nepsy, I've been visiting a lot and helping clean up the place. I'm kind of the caretaker, gonna patch the roof soon. Oh, cool. We do live in a society, Billy says. Oh. Okay, Nepsy's been cleaning up my old house too. Is there a broken window? I don't know. I don't need to know about my own place. Venezuela is doing good now. U.S. attacked Venezuela. Did they? And Venezuela is doing good now? I don't know. I don't know anything about Venezuela currently. I don't know the owner, but okay. This is still about my old house in Vermont. There's a window broken. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Joe Cool says Zimbabwe's hyperinflation got so bad they were issuing $1 trillion notes. That's hilarious. I'd like to buy some bubble gum. Here's $4 trillion. I mean, it would be a horrible situation to be in that situation, but it's got to be kind of funny too. just being like, look at how ridiculous this is. This is so ridiculous. It's just funny. Besides the fact that we're starving, it's kind of hilarious as well, $1 trillion notes. Let's see. All right, these guys are talking about my old house. I'm gonna skip those. Let me just reload my chats here because. Okay. Oh, Tomaters is here. Hey guys, how's it going, man? Elliot says, Jaimie, you the man. Thanks, man. Okay. All right, let's see. Those guys are still talking about my old house. The U.S. promotes a phony sense of freedom. I would totally agree with that. That is true. Freedom was a big thing, but now it's more of a talking point, and it just keeps getting eroded, which is, it's going. Nepsy says, sorry, Jaimie, for spamming your chat about your old home. Totally fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to ignore those ones, though. You guys feel free to talk about it. Any plans for dinner tonight? Yes, I have plans for dinner tonight. I showed it. Wait. Oh, you're talking to your friend there. Not me. Okay. Could I borrow 10 trillion until next Friday? I need to make a payment on my McDonald's order. Yeah. How's the kids' car doing? The kids' car is great, although the differential slips a little bit. It's just because there's a gear in it that I kind of slapped in years ago, knowing I would really need to do a little more than that. But and it slips when it was me and 3 kids in the car. When it was just the kids or it was just me, it was fine. So I want to be able to drive it with me and all 4 kids in it. So I want to reinforce that gear in the differential. I can show you in a video or something. But basically, there's 2 planetary gear things that do stuff, and then between those, and I cut teeth into the edge of each planetary gear and put one gear in the back. But the problem is there's only 1 gear on one side, so they're held in the middle, so they can flex a little bit if there's a lot of force, and then the gear slips. So if I put a gear on the other side, then it would be fine. So maybe I'll just make a second gear. I don't know, but generally speaking, the kids' car is awesome. I really like it. It doesn't have any speeds yet. It's just, full speed forward or full speed reverse. I think I put this video up. Did I put that video up? But next I should put like a foot pedal that has 2 speeds. So the switch, you set it to forward or reverse, and then you push on the pedal, and then you push down and it connects the slow speed and then the fast speed. I don't think I need more than 2 speeds because it doesn't go that fast in the first place. Get out of here, bug. But yeah, I don't know. It's really fun to play with, though. One of the reasons of World War II is inflation, so don't downplay it. Yeah, inflation is a serious problem, and okay. I don't even want to get into it, but like when people are in charge of money and they don't let you have your own money, they say you have to use this or you go to jail. That's the basic situation you're in. If they print out more money, it's not like they're creating more value. They're just creating more of the paper stuff, more numbers, which means they're taking some of the value from your dollars to make those new dollars. So if there's $1,000 in the world and $1 will buy you a pumpkin, everyone can buy a pumpkin. So that means the entire value of money in the world is 1,000 pumpkins. If the people printing the money then go print $1,000, that doesn't mean now suddenly the value is 2,000 pumpkins. No, it's still 1,000 pumpkins. It's just now they're divided amongst more dollars, which means now you have to pay $2 per pumpkin. And inflation doesn't happen instantly. They have to print the money that gets into circulation for a while, and the dollars gradually the value of, or the price of things gradually goes up as the dollar goes down, and then it gets to a point where it levels out, and that's your new dollar level. And every time they print out money, they're just stealing value from people. It's such a, what's the word? It's like the criminals figured out the best way to steal from people. It's like, we don't have to do anything. I don't even have to visit your house or see, you don't even have to know that I exist. All I have to do is print out some more dollars, and I just steal money from you, steal value from you, and I just get it, just like that. It's so crazy. And it's, legal, totally, everything's fine. Carry on, go ahead, no problem. Oh, it's disgusting, it's terrible. Oh, man. Okay, reason things are bad in the US is billionaires have bought the US government. When people stop supporting the right wing, that's when things will turn around. US downfall started with Reagan. I don't think the left wing is doing any better, personally. As far as I can tell, both political parties in the United States, are basically doing the same things. They have different talking points, but whatever. Yeah. I built a trailer for my bike today. Ooh, that's cool. Thanks for showing me other ways of doing things. Well, you're welcome, Sire Pan-Fried. Ooh, pan-fried. I want some fries. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. Well, that's a problem, definitely. One of the big problems in our society is like, okay, how do we put this? People talk about a lot of reasons that our civilization is having all these problems. Like it's democracy. No, it's socialism. No, it's capitalism. No, it's communism. No, it's credits. No, it's people using today at the cost of people in the future. And it's like, okay, all of the above, none of the above, some of the above. It's like everything. The real problem is that people have no morals. Like that's the actual problem. That's why all of those things are problems. Like any of those things could work if people have morals, but people don't have morals today. And maybe this goes back to like the first thing I said about, cartoons being better when I was a kid. When I was a kid, the good guys fought to do the right thing. Today cartoons, they don't try to give you any kind of good moral lessons. They're just like, oh, let's get drunk and be stupid. It's so funny. Yeah. Oh, look, I hit in the balls again. Oh, yeah. And like everything's so dumb, and people aren't taught anything about morals in school. And parents are absent. Like the entire concept of morality has been broken. It's been lost for enough generations now that people just don't have morals. And someone's going to say like, well, what about people who go to church? I know plenty of Christians and Jews and people who are like serious about their religion. They go to church and they do the thing and read the thing. But when it comes to things that matter, I'm trying to think of people who actually do the right thing when it really matters, and I'm having a tough time. Like I see a lot of people with fake morals, like moral, what's it called? Virtue signaling. There's tons of virtue signaling. Virtue signaling is through the roof. But actual morals, like morals you don't have to tell people about, you just do. They're basically gone. And that's why I haven't been doing this, but that's why I started talking about the Adventure Builders Club, all those morals. And here I just said, your morals you don't have to talk about. But like, I don't have to talk about the morals when I do them, but like to share the idea with other people, I have to talk about it. But anyway, yeah, people have lost their morals. People don't care about what's right and wrong. They don't try to do what's right and wrong. They don't put any effort into it. That's the real problem with all of this stuff. You can't fix it with a certain type of government or a certain like type of financial scheme or anything. None of this stuff will fix it. People have to have morals. People have to actually be trying to do the right thing, or you're not going to get the right thing. All right, what was going on here? Credit card debt is at an all-time high. Yeah, it's terrible. Have you let any of your kids drive any boats yet? They must love that car. Oh, the kids love the car, yeah. Although I didn't let them drive it yesterday. Well, yeah, it was pouring rain all day yesterday. But I want to fix the differential before they drive it more. Because like right now, it's not slipping when the kids are on it, but I don't want it to start slipping because then it might start wrecking the gears. Like I want to make sure it's really, really good before I just tell them, go for it, go nuts. They do help. My what's she, 11? My 11-year-old really likes driving the boats. My 3-year-old, my 5-year-old, I'm more concerned about them just not falling off the boat, which they're very good about, but that's the thing. It's like, just be in a good spot, be calm, and be safe. But like my 11-year-old, she's very into driving the boat. Like she wants to help. Like I'm pretty sure she could drive my boats without me there. Not that it'd be a little risky, but she could probably handle it. My oldest daughter is just, I don't know, she's just doing other stuff. But yeah, I want to get her more into that stuff too. Let's see. How is the island scooter doing? Did you ever finish that? The island scooter, it's the scooter that I finished it in the video. I drove it and crashed into a log and it didn't break and everything. It was like, I've taken it to town several times and scooted around town, and it has a big basket in the back to carry stuff. Let me just see if I can actually show it. Nope. It's currently in one of my kids' rooms, and she's buried it and stuff. Not buried it, but it's just got all kinds of crap on it, like clothes and stuff. But yeah, the scooter totally works, and it's great. COVID, oh God, COVID. COVID in the US proved how quick it could become a police state for national security. Yeah, that whole quarantine thing, that was something. Yeah. Shadowmancer says, whee! I bet you didn't think I was going to do that. Oh, Ken says, many countries are trying to ditch the dollar and make a gold-backed currency. Well, that is a great idea. Countries have been trying to do that for a while, actually. And for a while, the US would just be like, well, terrorists, let's go bomb them. I'm definitely, what's the word? Oversimplifying, but whatever. The basic gist is there. But yeah, I'm betting that more and more countries are getting more and more determined to get off the US dollar at this point. Both wings are broken and the birds can't fly. Is this a metaphor? I don't know what's going on. Oh, actually, this is TDH, who's very sure that the United States is going fine, who says, actually, most of the inflation has been corporate price gouging and billionaires raking in profits. It's not just about printing money. Republicans always giving money and tax breaks for billionaires. I don't want to get into a whole debate about this right now, but yeah, it's not just about printing money. There are a lot of problems. Just because there are 20 different problems doesn't mean you say one doesn't exist because, the problem is these others. No, there's a whole slew of problems, and printing money is definitely one of them. And as far as I remember, it's not just the Republicans causing this problem. Didn't Joe Biden, he's the guy who can't talk, right? Who's just like, I'm the president of the United States. Peanuts. That's the president right now? It's Joe Biden? I think that's what his name is. I don't know. I just can't think of him as a person because he just doesn't seem like he's in there. But as far as I know, his guys printed a ton of money. Anyway, and the whole thing with the big businesses being tied in with the government, yeah, that's both parties are doing that. Like I don't know how you can say one party's doing the right thing when they're both like terrible. On the bright side, my tomatoes are ripening well, yes, and my weed is all full of flowers. Your weed is all full of flowers, like smoking some weed. I have actually never smoked weed, but it's about people not being nice to each other. That is a problem. People not being nice to each other is a huge problem. That's one major part of morality. Another part of morality that's missing is people are putting things off. Instead of taking care of things today, they're like, well, I don't want to deal with this right now. I'll let someone else deal with it in the future. So this goes back to the whole putting things on credit cards. I want the stuff now, I want to pay for it later. And often it ends up being someone else who ends up paying for it later. Like previous generations have done things that we now have to pay for. And there's honor is a problem. People are telling lies and it's just acceptable, just all kinds of problems. Money is smiles for nasty people. Best to avoid it if you can. Well, yeah, I don't know. Good night, tomaters and everybody. Good night, Dan. I hope you have a good night. Billionaires account for very little. They are parasites on a dying carcass. Yeah, the way I kind of think of like a lot of billionaires and other people is it's kind of like rats on a sinking ship, just like getting whatever's left before they swim away. But the thing is, like, most people, if they were in the situation that the crappy billionaires were in, they would do the same thing. So you can only complain about it if you would do better. And if you've ever been in a situation where you have a choice between doing the right thing and the wrong thing, and you consistently do the right thing, that's when you can really complain about it. Otherwise, you're part of the problem. And if you're going to say, I'm not part of the problem because I don't have access to enough resources, that doesn't help, because you would be part of the problem. I mean, you are a part of the problem, but you would be a bigger part of, if how much you're the problem is just dependent on how much access you have to resources, you can't complain to anyone else. You got to fix yourself. Let's leave it at that. If you look through history, the ship has been sinking many times, but instead of abandoning it, those people actually stood up and did something instead of running away. That is true. Many times that has happened. However, often civilizations have fallen because people stopped doing something to stop it. And, this is definitely something you can argue with. I personally think that nothing is happening today to slow down the decline of our civilization. I think it's just going down. If anything, it's accelerating. And people who might be good people are just kind of like saying, well, I don't want to get yelled at. I don't want to get involved. So I'm just not gonna do anything. So it's like you've got all these people standing by not doing anything. And I think that's a huge part of the problem. And that's another piece of morality that's missing. Courage. People don't have the courage to stand up for what's right. I mean, most people won't even talk about things because they're afraid they're going to get yelled at or arrested or harassed or kicked off the internet, or like so many people are like, no, I can't say anything or do anything. And yeah, so don't tell me that people actually stood up and did something. Yeah, that has happened, but it's not happening right now. Where is town? I've been to Bocas del Toro. You live around there? Kind of, yeah. Do you more rain this year or like other years? Do you have more rain this year or like other years? I have not been keeping track of the actual rainfall, so I don't know how much. It rains here a lot. I know that. Like I rely on rainwater for my water, and I've never been out of water. So I don't know. Have you considered dating a Filipina? They are great, and the ones from the countryside are hardworking. Well, I'm not in. I'm like on the wrong side of the planet for that. But yeah, it sounds great. If I met one that was around here, I would totally be open to that. But yeah, I don't know a lot of Filipinas. I don't know any. In high school, I had a good friend who was Filipino, like a guy. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. That sounds great, but Looking at your Jaimie Builds channel to see videos of how you built the Vermont Dome. Can't find them. I know it started with a geodesic metal frame, but what were walls and windows made of? Oh, so that was, let me think. I think I built that before I started doing the videos. Although I did get the last major renovation where I, really got it, kind of finished and put insulation and everything in there. The original dome, I just have in pictures. So my website used to have pages of pictures and it showed, the putting of everything together. I kind of want to put that website back up. Although I was looking at it the other day and I was like, man, this is embarrassing. I shared a lot of personal stuff on that website. And now a lot more people know who I am and stuff. And like people I know actually, watch my videos. And when I first had a website and videos, when I was making YouTube videos, like nobody I knew watched it. Nobody, whatever. So I didn't really care about sharing whatever. Anyway, I want to put that website back up. I might have to edit it some. But it has all the pictures from building the dome in Vermont and stuff. Let's see. Working in the government, federal prison, I clearly see why we are $30 trillion in debt. The stupidity of the government is absolutely crazy. Yeah. And are the current dome windows made of glass or plexiglass? Well, I don't know what the dome is doing right now. You mean, wait, the current dome? You mean the one I'm in right now? Or the dome in Vermont? The dome in Vermont had double pane glass, and then a layer of Mylar inside that. So it was triple pane. So it was extra insulated. Here, the windows are polycarbonate, like, bulletproof glass. But they're not thick enough to stop a bullet. Biden at least can think. Trump can't think. Look, TDH, I get it. You hate the right wing. You love the left wing. But I'm not going to say anything else about that. I personally think they're both in the toilet making out with each other. So I don't know. Okay, I have to rewind. I voted for Biden to get rid of Trump. Joseph Blowmeister, I thought most were sliding glass door panels. Okay, so yeah, in my old house in Vermont, I got a whole bunch of sliding glass doors that had been removed from I don't know where, but I got them I got some of them for free, and then some of them were $10 each, and that's all the windows in the dome in Vermont. I second the Filipino female. You mean the Filipina thing? They're very loyal, supportive, and instant team members. Oh, that sounds amazing! Boy, you should be like what's the word? You should be the spokesperson for Filipina ladies. Yeah, someone who is what was it? Loyal, supportive, and did you just erase your comment? You deleted message. You just deleted it. Anyway, that sounds amazing. I would love to meet a woman like that. Although lately I've just been focusing on my stuff, just doing my thing, because I have plenty of stuff here to do. For a while I was putting some effort into meeting women, but right now I'm on a little bit of break from that. Doesn't mean if I meet a woman, I'm not gonna not talk to her, but not putting any effort into that at the moment. Oh, okay, TDH, I get it. I get the political thing. I'm just gonna skip those messages. Let's see. I gotta get through some of this political stuff because it's just okay. Look, here's the thing. When you start getting into a political argument of the right versus the left, it doesn't go anywhere. Because you just get the people on the right saying, but the left people did this stupid thing. And then the left people say, but the right people did this stupid thing. And it just goes on forever. And they're both right. That's the problem. They're both right. The people in charge are accelerating the collapse of society so they can build it back better in their image. Maybe is that what's going on, or are they just like kind of letting things fall apart so they can try to take as much as possible? I don't know. Oh, let me view this deleted message. Who's deleting these messages? Oh, come on. Why can't I view a deleted message? All right. Why is I'm just going to trust you. Politics. Can we stop? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let's stop. I put him in timeout. All right, Mr. Landfill, I'll trust you. We needed some timeout, I guess. Ever see that girl on the bike again? Oh, okay. So like, what was it, like a year or two ago? I don't know, maybe a year ago. I talked about this really good-looking specimen of a human being. This woman I saw riding on a bike just down the street when I was in town. No, I haven't seen her again. Man, she was good looking. I forgot about her. You just brought back some nice images in my head. Let's see. What happened to the sailboat you bought a few years ago? Last thing I remember, you saw the mast. Yeah, so that sailboat I bought, I kind of got to the point where I was like, I don't think this thing is savable. I mean, it's not totally, but when I bought it, I was buying it knowing that there was enough hardware on it to easily cover what I paid for it. So yeah, this is a piece of the mast, one of the masts. There are two masts. This is a piece of one. There are two, there's another one just over there. So two pieces of the mast hold up my third floor. Another piece of that mast is outside doing nothing right now. And the other mast, the smaller mast from that boat, it became the frame for my lumber mill. And then I have 4 stainless steel cables wrapped around my house, holding the concrete together. Those all came from the sailboat. And I have a whole bunch of hardware and stainless steel stuff that I got off it. So I basically stripped it of all its stuff, which financially speaking was totally worth it. And right now, the rest of the boat isn't doing anything. Ever see that girl on the bike again? That's funny. Hi, I'm late. David Rubino, how's it going, man? How's life without snow? I'm kind of jealous with winter creeping up. Well, I kind of liked living in the winter. Like winter was always fun. Although, given the option, would take the tropical weather because, while winter is fun, I did always enjoy winter. You can't get anything done outside because everything's frozen, and food just the life in general is harder when everything is frozen. So yeah, I do enjoy being in a tropical place. However, I am built for the winter. Like my genetic makeup works very well in the cold. I wasn't built for the tropical environment. So it took me a while to get used to the heat. And I mean, I can't wear a shirt most of the time. Like if I go out or something, or people are visiting, I'll put a shirt on. But most of the time, I'm just wearing one item of clothing, just trying to stay cool. And today I went swimming, and I stayed in the water for an hour and a half, and eventually started feeling cold. And I was just like, oh, this is amazing. I feel cold. My fingers are actually getting a little bit numb. And the water wasn't that cold. It's just a little bit colder than me. But, after a while being in the water, it cools you off enough that my core body temperature cooled down. Oh, it felt great. But yeah. Anyway, what's going on here? What's your hopes for your children? Do you think they will end up going to college, going the traditional route, or buy an island and make cool things? I don't know what my kids are going to do. That's always a funny question. I'm going to try to help them do whatever they want to do in life. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't make that decision for them. I don't know what they're going to do. I am going to not recommend college, at least not in the United States or Canada. Maybe there's some, I don't know. Oh, it's such a disaster though. When I went to university and I just didn't learn anything. And was just a waste of time and money. I figured out how to basically not go to class and use my time sneaking into the university, laboratories and workshops and stuff, and do my own projects. I found a way to make it worth it, kind of. But like the academic situation itself, completely worthless. Oh, it's just such a crock of crap. Not worth the time or the money at all. I'm thinking of buying a sailboat to escape Montreal winter. That sounds like a great idea. I hear, Classic Dude Mike says, I hear footage of the protest in Panama is banned from YouTube because it's seen as violence. Well, protests of any kind are banned on YouTube because they're seen as dangerous to people who don't want people protesting. I don't know what's going on with protests in Panama. What's going on with protests in Panama? Like I hear about various protests now and then about various different things, but I don't know which one you're talking about. Ken says, I heard Deshana was talking about moving or leaving. Have you any insight on that? No, I don't have that much to do with Deshana anymore. She's not taking the fucking kids. That's my insight on that. That's the end. You need to change your mods. They're out of control. Mr. Landfill, did you get out of control? I have put 2 people in timeout ever. That's out of control. All right. Well, okay. Okay, Mr. Landfill, you probably don't have to time out someone who's talking about political stuff. I'm just going to skip those messages. Like, I'm just not going to read them. So just leave them there, and I'll gloss over them. And if they get like really bad, fine. But let's see. Have you ever thought of building Tromp to generate compressed air to cool your house, like tropical weather as well? But in dry season, love the AC. It's unbearable hot. Well, it's not that hot here. Like if I'm not wearing a shirt, I'm totally comfortable right now. And this is basically as hot as it gets. Let me open the window. Yeah, it's starting to cool off a little bit outside now because it's getting evening time. So I'll turn on a fan outside maybe if I want a bit more cool air. But yeah, air conditioning hasn't been like something I really have felt like I need. But a Tromp would be kind of cool. I mean, I can't say I haven't thought about it. Yeah, it's not a high priority thing though. I have other things that I need to do more. All right, Mr. Landfill says someone got timed out for a personal attack. All right, if someone's attacking someone else personally, fine, totally time them out. You gotta not do that. That's not cool. Please don't attack others in chat. Yeah, please don't attack other people. Great. All I did was state facts. TDH, your facts are you're getting a little too political. Let's just relax on that stuff. So it's not anything that's going to go anywhere. Okay, looks like I'm at the bottom of comments there, and I've been rambling on for an hour, and I've got food there, so maybe I should shut up and go eat some food. And it's starting to get dark now anyway. I'm gonna have to turn on a light. Well, not to eat, but if I was gonna stay on here. Anyway, does anyone else have anything last minute to say? Not about their favorite political party or have a question. Otherwise, let's see. Enjoy the chicken scramble. I will. Yeah, I have solid chicken and liquid chicken in there, which is great. You need new mods that aren't weak. All right, weak-willed little bitches. You can mod. You can blow up that guy, because that's a personal attack. That's not cool. Can I get an island for $5,000 US? Maybe. Just give it a try. Yeah, I'm not selling you one of my islands for $5,000, but if you want to get an island for $5,000, there's a good chance you could do it. Yeah. But you have to do some schmoozing. You have to get people to like you. Like all right, let me just leave on this final note. So if you want to get a good real estate deal, like on land, like if you're someone who wants to move off grid, or you just want to buy some land somewhere, you can just pay through the nose through a realtor, or you can go live in the place where you want to buy land and meet people and be nice to them. And if people decide that they like you enough that they want you to live near them, and you make it clear that you want to buy land so you can stay there, you're going to get people offering land to you at cheap prices. Like someone who doesn't have land that they would sell to just anyone often will be like, well, to someone I like, who I actually want to have as a neighbor, well, I've got this few acres over here that I'm not doing anything with, and I don't want some giant hotel thrown up there or something, but yeah, I would totally sell it to someone I like. And that's how you get a good deal. I'm sure there are other ways to do it, but that's how I did it. All right. Let's see. Have a great evening. Why are you picking it? TDH, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, let's let the political stuff go. Like, people are going to disagree and fight over that. The argument doesn't go anywhere. But I do respect you and your opinions, and it's fine. All right. Getting dark in Maine. Okay, I'm going to go eat some food, and I hope everyone else is having a great time, battling your battles, taking care of your stuff, having the courage to stand up when you need to stand up and not back down when you need to not back down. And I hope everyone's having a great, whatever you're having. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thundercats are here to stay.